What's up, friends? One of you has come to me and asked me about how to have persistence in Ventoy. I made a video about installing Ventoy, making bootable media using it with different ISOs. He told me that there is the persistence plugin, which I never heard of. So shout out to him for letting me know about such thing. We will explore how to use the plugin of the persistence and have some persistent Linux images on our Ventoy USB flash drive. I have installed Ventoy on my Arch Linux machine, and when we look for the executable of Ventoy Plugson, which is responsible on enabling plugins and installing them, we can see that it exists here. However, I'm gonna go with the default one for Ventoy, which is by downloading the archive and running Ventoy Plugson from there. This video is heavily inspired by a video that I'm gonna show you on the screen. That guy has done these steps on Windows and some other ones on Linux. I'm gonna do almost all these steps on Linux. So let me first get my Ventoy downloaded, the usual one that any of you would use, which is not necessarily on Arch Linux only. You can, of course, as long as you are using Arch, you can of course do all these steps without needing to move or switch directory to the directory of of Ventoy decompressed files. They are in a compressed format. Once downloaded, you decompress them and you move to that directory to execute the steps that I'm going to show you now, with some difference in the syntax. If you have Arch Linux, all you have to do is to use Ventoy Plugson, which we will do to go with all the possibilities here. I will go with the default one so far, which is this one. I guess I chose the wrong one. This one, 19 megabytes. Not live CD, yeah. This one. I just clicked the red button. It took me to the... Yes, this one. Downloads is fine. Enter. It should download for us. The video I told you about has made some directories within his USB flash drive containing Ventoy. He made the directory called ISO. He made another directory called persistence. I believe such thing is optional. All you have to do is to make sure that your .dat files, which are responsible on the persistence thing, need to be on your USB flash drive. So let's go to downloads, directory, ls. Alright, so tar xvf, if I'm not mistaken, Ventoy, ls again, and then cd Ventoy. Clear out the screen, ls. We are supposed to have our Ventoy Plugson here. The difference between this one and the one that's included in the installation of Ventoy from the AUR on Arch Linux is that this one is with uppercase V, uppercase P, and .sh at the end. However, the other one is Ventoy Plugson. As you can see, if we run this one, it's gonna uh, if you run this one, it's gonna do the same thing that's run when using Ventoy Plugson from the usual installation, or the usual we cannot say installation, but from the usual Ventoy package. Maybe it's portable package so far. So here it says for Plugson, to run it under Linux, we should run sudo bash plugson.sh with the USB flash drive, and the letter is this X thing. Let me plug in my flash drive. LSBLK. Yes, it's this one, SDB. The video that I watched before making my video here, says or has done installing Ventoy into the flash drive. So he has done Ventoy to disk. I have done that in my previous video of when you install Ventoy from the AUR. Let's do it now the usual way. Ventoy to disk /dev/sdb. Enter. Password here. Enter. Yeah, it's not like that, like this. Again, I forgot the flags here. Let me make sure the syntax is correct, whether G is before I or I is before G. Y and enter. G, as I told you in my previous video, it's for GPT, which is associated with UEFI. Most of the newest computers are using UEFI and may not be backwards compatible. In case you mistakenly chose, for example, I cannot say for example, since it's only another option, which is eBIOS or MBR. So press Y here, it double checks, enter. While it does its job, we need to prepare our dot files. There are some default ones provided by Ventoy itself. We go to Ventoy or look for Ventoy persistence. So yeah, here they are. We have a bunch of them. Get this one. These are the pre-created ones. You have the option to create yours, but we will simply go with them to make sure that we make it simpler first. So we go back to the parent folder like this, ls, and then unzip images. No, I guess I need to use the GUI file manager like this. So we go to downloads, images, okay, it decompressed it. Here it is. We have the pre-created files, as I said, .dat files. The labeled things are the ones that match with our distros of choice. For example, Arch Linux, you take the file that's labeled Ventoy cow. If it's Ubuntu, Casper-RW. MX Linux, it's MX-persistent. There is some case sensitivity that you need to be aware of in case such thing is needed or matters. So This is Ventoy cow. It gives us a bunch of possible persistent space, like 1 or 2 gigabytes. All the file, there is also, I thought there is only one file system, which I thought is extended 4, but we have XFS. We should go with extended 4. The video that I watched and I told you about recommended extended 4. Extended 4 has a pro compared to XFS, which is the ability to shrink the volumes without a lot of hassle and without risking your data. XFS has a bug which doesn't allow the users to shrink the volumes. I don't know if you need such thing. However, it's fine. Let's try with it. The pre-created files that you can see here have different space. You can go with the biggest one. I said Casper-RW. I need to prepare also my ISOs. So I'm gonna go with Ventoy cow. I'm gonna go with Arch Linux and Ubuntu, the vanilla Arch Linux and the vanilla Ubuntu. And if I have Linux Mint, I will go with it as well. I will check my ISO files. So I prepared a bunch of bootable Linux media. Let's drop them into the USB flash drive, our Ventoys. Linux Mint, I had to download it. We drop all of them into Ventoy. That's the first one. I do still have my Ventoy media here. We take Ubuntu, Arch Linux, regardless of the version, since we need to focus here on the persistence thing. And while it's copying, we should start running Plugson. So for these labels, be aware of them. Please be aware of them. Every time you wanna go with one of these distributions, make sure that you take one of the files with the prepared space, or make your own using the script that's provided. There is a script called create persistent img. Let's go to Ventoy ls. Yeah, here it is. We may try it. Clear out the screen, and we should run Plugson. On Linux it should be by running sudo bash plug ls first. Yes, it's Ventoy Plugson, sudo bash Ventoy Plugson, and the device, which should be /dev/sd something, or you should know what it is. It may be a hard drive or an NVMe disk. In my case, it's /dev/sdb. This thing can be instead of bash .// like this. And if you are using Arch Linux installation from the AUR, it should be Ventoy let me show you. Ventoy Plugson. So instead of running it this way, sudo bash Ventoy Plugson /dev/sdb. Instead of running it like that, this is the first option for any generic Ventoy setup. You run this command, and if you are using Arch Linux, the command should be Ventoy Plugson, all lowercase, and the device, in my case it's /dev/sdb. Make sure you select the correct one, like this. Let's try the second one. Password. Okay, we go to this IP address, which is local one. I'm gonna press Ctrl C and go with the generic option. It should do the same thing. The difference is the second one is from the archive that's provided by Ventoy, and the first one is from the AUR. So I'm gonna copy this and paste it in my browser. Paste it here. Okay, we should go back to the pre-created configuration files. We said we will use Arch Linux, Ubuntu, and Linux Mint. So we need to prepare Casper-RW and Ventoy cow. We should go to Casper, Ventoy cow, Casper, this one, like this, and this is gonna probably extract the files from within the archive itself. Any visual problems in my interface is due to the incompatibility between the window manager that I'm using and GTK. So I have this one here, persistence, this one. We copy it into Ventoy, not this one. That's my directory where I backed up the files that were on the flash drive when I wanted to delete everything from within it. So like this, the first file, which was probably Casper with 4 gigabytes. Casper-RW, I said Casper for short. It's for Linux Mint and Ubuntu. And then we need to take Ventoy cow. You can take whichever space you want. So since we have a bunch of them, a bunch of options, I'm gonna go with 4 gigabytes. We will have to extend them later. This is also extracting. I don't know, every time I run or try to see what's inside the archive, it simply extracts what's in it. That's fine for us. So this is the so we need to take Ventoy cow and Casper-RW. Make sure you take the one that matches with your Linux distribution. The ones that are possible are here. I was able to take Fedora, for example, Kali, Zorin, etc. Alright, I copied the ISO files, copied the dot files. ISO and dot are simply extensions of the files. The thing that I should say here is that the size of the persistent space that's given is the same as the dot file itself. You can simply guess that there was some extension. If you extend, for example, the dot file, the persistent space, you should expect the dot file itself to get bigger. You should see it, instead of being 4 gigabytes or 2 gigabytes, becoming as big as the extended space. And you need to be aware that you need to make sure that your USB flash drive needs to have enough space. In case you made the dot files bigger, or you added so many ISO files, it can lead to insufficient space in your disk. So we prepared the files, we prepared Plugson. Let's start with the process. We go to persistence plugin, and then we click add. Okay, so it asks for the full path. So let's copy this, paste it here, and then a forward slash. We said that Arch Linux is with Ventoy cow. I'm gonna try to rename it, and from there I can copy the file name dot ISO here, and here our dot file. Same path. And then forward slash. We repeat the same process but with a different file. Control V here, dot. Since it wasn't selected, the extension. Click OK. Yeah, this, according to the video, proves that it's working, and if otherwise it should give an error. Since we see no error here, it means it's working. Let's do the same thing with the other files. We got no error so far. I'm gonna extend now, and later we will see from the reserved persistent space if the extension is successful. So scroll down to remember what is the... Oh yeah, it's per dot file. So in case you extended, for example, a common dot file, you can have a common dot file if I'm not mistaken. Let's say it's Casper-RW for the same file for multiple distributions like Linux Mint and Ubuntu here. If you extend this one, it should appear on both systems extended. So we can have multiple files if we simply change the name. I'm gonna stay with the same one. You should choose your favorite configuration. Let's extend Casper-RW. You may need to back up your files. Okay, so here cd downloads, and then Ventoy ls. Okay, it should be sudo. This will be a little long command, however I will try to help you with it. Let's see if we have extend on Arch Linux. Extend per, I guess it's not there, I'm not sure. I mean here the AUR package, after installation it gives us some executables. I'm not sure if it has the one that we're gonna use here or not, so we run sudo /extend, and then the dot file, it should be slash the full path that we had before. Let me find out what it is. Need to copy it again like this, paste it here. Ventoy /per persistence, we said it should be Casper like this, and we're gonna give it extra 1 gigabyte, which should be 1024. Enter password here. This should make the size almost 5120. It's doing it somehow. It has become 5 gigabytes, as you can see. It will soon finish the execution here. You can see that it's almost 5 gigabytes. Make sure that all the files are within your USB flash drive. Okay, so it's extended, as you can see. I guess for the execution of the steps, we have nothing to add here. All I'm gonna do now, you can see that it says success. Make sure that for this script you download the archive, as I did, Ventoy's archive, in case you can't find it within the installation from the AUR on your Arch Linux system. I'm gonna reboot the system, try to have some files within our persistent virtual storage, and then reboot again. I will choose from the boot menu of Ventoy the persistence option. There will be one, as you can see here. It says that there is persistence stuff. I don't think I need to comment anymore. I will just boot to persistent stuff, make some files, maybe install some packages, and then reboot again. If the files and the installed packages are there, it means that it's really persistent.